When I retired, I was looking for a place to live that didn't require a lot of maintenance and upkeep work. The tiny home community that I found here fit that particularly well. It also came with a lot of amenities and many places to walk my dog. Most importantly, there was no mortgage. Hello, I'm John. I'd love to show you around my tiny home. This is my living area. What was important to me was to have a wall that I could put a big TV on. Another thing that was important to me is it's a tiny home, so I wanted to have everything kind of together in one spot. There was no need to do a lot of movement. And the way this is set up, particularly with this island, which is my base of operations for most of the day, as you can see, it's a very convenient L-shaped layout that makes things very easy to get to. Off of the kitchen, we go directly into my bedroom. From the access to the master bedroom, go down the hallway that has a refrigerator, a pantry, and washer dryer. And there is a smaller bedroom to the right. And then if you go straight, you come into the bathroom. There's a pocket door on the bathroom that gives you the privacy that you need. As far as what I was looking for in the home, and I did basically take what was available, and it turned out to be, as far as I'm concerned, magnificent. Everything about it I love. But what I wanted to do is have 2 bedrooms because I did want to have a workout room, and I wanted to have enough space on the lot, because these are tiny lots, to put a carport and then a small fenced-in area for my dog. So those are the most important things. Everything else, I just left to chance, and I lucked out. In my living room, I love the light, a crazy amount of light, but I also like to watch sports and movies during the day. I did install blackout blinds that allow me to get rid of this good light when I need to. All the furniture in here is what I brought. I knew where I was getting into as far as the main furniture goes. I got rid of a lot of furniture, and this I plan to use. Each of these cushions flips over, and there's a hardwood eating service. It's meant to be a TV tray, basically. I mean, you can actually, it has handles, you can actually pick it up and put it on your lap if you want to. I don't entertain much, although I just had a classmate from school and his wife visit last weekend, so it functions in that. I mean, there's several places to sit if you need to, and I don't generally entertain much, and normally it's just me and the dog sitting on the couch. I've only been here for 5 months, so I was here during the terrible winter that we just had, so I haven't been using the outside much, but like this morning, I was reading out there, so I probably would entertain more on the porch. When it comes to heating and cooling in my tiny home, I have mini splits. They're terribly efficient. I never once felt cold in the house. These things are so well insulated. Even though there's a crawl space, it's amazing, I think. When I told people I was gonna move into a tiny home, everybody just wanted to know about it. I mean, I had nobody actually say, oh my gosh, how are you gonna do that? And maybe it's because I was a bachelor and they figured I could probably downsize easier than a family could. And I did have a RV for many years that I used. So I was kind of used to living in a small space anyway. This actually was an increase in size from the RVs. So I did not have any problems. I bought this house basically sight unseen. Went through a long story of options that fell through. And so bottom line is I just said, I want a house. This is what I want. I want it here. And so this was the next spec home to come. And it takes about 2 or 3 months to build these at the remote location before they're brought here. So I knew what was coming. Some of these houses have windows on both sides. So they often have a fireplace and then a window above it. That was one of the things I said, I gotta have a wall to put my TV on so I can watch football. And that was a requirement. And so this house was fine. The first time I saw this home was jumping up and down outside the windows because you couldn't get into it from a danger standpoint. They don't let people, till everything's finished, they don't let people in the house. So I was outside the window trying to see what it looked like. And it was the first time I actually saw it was the day of closing. I mean, they do a walkthrough, and I didn't have any problems to fix, but if there were problems to fix, those were noted then. And the walkthrough, I'm sure my mouth never closed because it was so exciting. And I mean, I just loved everything about it, so. In my kitchen, I've got a stainless steel refrigerator, microwave, full-size oven. I guess it's a full-size microwave too. I've got a pretty cool sink and even a not large, but functional dishwasher. I gave up some storage space for the dishwasher, but given the amount of storage space I have, I haven't even noticed that. In all honesty, this is actually at least as big. I have as much counter space here as I did in my other house. I don't think I gave up anything in kitchen preparation. I'm not a great cook. I don't cook a lot, but I cook every day. So I have my basics, and this certainly accommodates it. I had to get rid of so much stuff. I spent a year divesting while my house was selling. It was a bad market time. And then I guess I was asking a lot of money for my previous house. So there was a year that I was waiting to get into this. So I was able to Facebook Marketplace, give away, Goodwill. I couldn't believe how much stuff I gave away. And then when I got here, I bet I made 4 or 5 trips to the dump still to get rid of things, because you don't have any concept of shrinkage when you go from a full-size house to a tiny home. As far as accommodating what I had, there's no way. And so I had to make choices. As far as eating space, that is a shortcomings, if you want to think of it that way, with this house. But there are two positions that you can sit in and eat. I don't do that. I actually sit in front of the TV, so that's where I eat. Yeah, but you do have space here if you want to. As far as the kitchen goes, I didn't give up anything from my full-size home. I mean, honestly, if anything, when you consider the island, it maybe made it a little bit, because I did not have an island in my previous home, it makes it a little bit more logical to where you can put things and move things, etc. And it's a full-size stove, so that's not giving up anything. Refrigerator's a little smaller than maybe most people have, but I'm a single person, so I'm able to store what I need to store in it without any problem. The only thing I really want to do is get pull-out shelves. I don't have that. And particularly for this under-the-counter where I've got all my cleaning goods, etc., you have reach to get in there. But I'm also thinking about doing it in the pantry too, because the pantry's got wasted space, I think. So I'm thinking about doing things to make it a little bit more accommodating, but I don't feel like I'm giving up anything at the moment. One of the pluses of this tiny home, as well as I guess every tiny home, is that the compactness that's required means that the kitchen and living room are generally going to be in one space. And with the high ceilings, you don't really feel like it's a crammed together exception to whatever you might want. It's good. It makes it work. Part of the reason that this all came about is, number one, I had a successful big business of dog training, of dog agility training on my property in the Charleston area. And it came to light that I was operating a business my property was not zoned for. I was an LLC, and I thought that I paid taxes under my business name, but it was not zoned properly. So I was subject to being, I guess, penalized if I kept doing what I did. So I shut down my business. That was the final straw that said, you got to get out of here. I just couldn't stand looking at all that equipment that I couldn't use. And then I started thinking about, where do I want to go? When I decided to retire from my dog training career, I started looking around at the basic things like retirement homes, etc., and didn't really like the concept of apartment living. I ended up, a friend of mine in the dog showing world, had retired and actually moved to this development. And I started talking to her, and she'd done a lot of research on tiny homes and had actually visited a number of communities. So I actually stole all her research and came up here to this community 3 or 4 times. I basically bought into what she discovered, and that this was a pretty nice community. The aspect of having your own home, your own building is, made all the difference in the world. And, I almost excluded every other option once I learned about what tiny homes were. You buy the house, but you rent the land. And it's a 10-year lease that's renewable. And so you end up paying rent on that land. And in my case, it's $806 a month, which of course is it's an amount, but for it, you get all your water, you get garbage, you get cable, you get internet set up. There's a lot of amenities. If you figure out the things you're getting, I'm kind of looking at like you bundle your TV, internet, and phone. Well, I'm bundling my kind of side services. I'm paying for electricity. That's the only thing that you really pay for. Everything else is paid for. And again, I'm thinking of it as bundling as opposed to giving up the ownership. So one of the bigger questions on the tiny home is the insurance, homeowner's insurance, because of course you want that. The problem that I had, insurance companies were varied on whether they considered this a mobile home or a permanent home. And the difference in cost was significant. It basically doubled. I shopped around and I probably talked to half a dozen insurance companies. Well, I think 3/4 of them said they consider this a mobile home. And that means it's pulled around and it's exposed to a lot more risk than a home that's strapped down. And these homes are strapped down. There's no way it's gonna move. So obviously I went for the cheaper insurance because it only made sense. Make sure when you're shopping for tiny home insurance that if you're not planning on moving it, make sure the insurance company knows that because it will impact your rates. My master bedroom, it's an add-on. This is a whole separate vehicle that's pulled in and then married to the main house. Lots of light, lots of windows. Had to put blackout curtains in here as well. I have several storage situations. My closet is here. I also have another closet that I have clothes in, but I bought this bed set because it has storage behind it. So there's 3 really big drawers on either end, plus I have this. So storage in the bedroom is really at least as much as I had before because I was paranoid about not having access to my socks and shorts, I knew all along I wanted 2 bedrooms because I really wanted a workout room and a sleeping room. I wasn't aware really of how different the sizes were. You will see when we move into the smaller room. I mean, it is small. There was no thought put into, needing the second bedroom. I knew I needed that. This was always part of the plan. Probably one of the most favorite things I have about the house is right off the bedroom, there's a secondary porch, which is actually bigger than the main porch that I call my mudroom because that's the way I take the dog out down steps into his little run that I've built for him. And then there's a gate to go out. When we go for a walk, that's our exit and then come back in path. So and particularly when we had a lot of snow this year and it was messy. It was great to have a spot that I could clean him off outside of the elements really. And I'm gonna screen that in too, so it'll be a little bit more of a living space, but it'll always be my mudroom where I can, get my dog in and out without destroying the house. Moving down the hallway from the kitchen, the first thing we encounter is a bedroom, which was actually the main bedroom for this floor plan. And as you can see, it's pretty small. So that's another reason for wanting the secondary bedroom. But this is the bedroom that comes with this floor plan. And I've used it for a workout room. I've got my laptop and printer and et cetera is right here in this desk area. I've got another closet where I kind of have this is my summer clothes in here and my winter clothes are in the other bedroom. I knew ahead of time that it was going to be a smaller room and I knew that I would want to have my bedroom in the larger room. So yeah, I knew this was going to be here. I just didn't realize, there were some restrictions that came with it that I had to work with, like a door right here that just minimized the access to some of the space. So I took the door out. The community has 2 really nice gyms, with $1,000 equipment, pieces of equipment. So really nice, except I like to work out by myself. This works to me. Immediately out of my workout room to the right is my bathroom. Obviously the bathroom is small. It's comparable to the bathroom, at least that I had in my larger RV. Certainly smaller than what I had in my house, but I do have a pocket door that gives you privacy and, minimizes the space that it takes up. I had to adapt to a little bit smaller, but it's really everything you need in a bathroom. Storage here, as in any other part of the tiny home, is at a premium. So, there's a pretty decent under-sink cabinet. I've got a medicine cabinet, and I even store some things above the washer dryer. I've never had a compact washer dryer situation like this, but it's pretty amazing how much it accommodates, and it makes it super easy. You just pick it up and put it in the dryer, and it does its own thing. Unquestionably, it's worth having it. Had to go someplace to do my laundry for the 2 months I was waiting for this to be finished. And I am a spoiled American, and I like having my washer dryer in my house. This is my front porch, a pretty good size. It's going to be screened in actually next week. And so it's minimal furniture and decoration at this point, but I have plans for that, but I wanted to get the screening in done first. The whole house is only 500 something square feet. So this porch and my back porch, which is bigger than this, are some pretty big amenities, if you want to look at it that way, that side spaces that you can use. And I read out here. It's a very walking community. So people walk by all the time. Hey, hello. So it's very common. You can see all the porches anyway face the street. There's also very good breeze normally. If you're on the fence about tiny home living, I strongly urge you to come to a community of houses that you might be able to look at different styles and different, maybe even sizes. You need to be inside something and really see the sense of how it's not really tiny, that it doesn't feel like you're in something tiny. So I would say get out and look at them as opposed to just doing research online. It's good to do that because it gives you an overview, but until you go in one, you don't get a full sense. The actual home itself is fantastic. I mean, it's everything I would ever want. I'm not moving. I'm never going to leave this place unless they kick me out. It's just everything I ever wanted in a home. And I used to love RV life, and this is just RV life, but better. Thanks for watching the story of my tiny home. Hope you enjoyed it and might even prove to be an inspiration to you to join us tiny homers.